Hello, my name's Lynn Ross. I'm a trustee of the Nanticoke Valley Historical Society here in the wonderful town of Maine, New York. I am here to introduce the second of a series of techniques from a time past called Cooking Up the Creek. And today I'm excited to tell you that Sue Gottlieb is going to share her mom's recipe for making kolachkis, which is, I had never heard of until I came to this wonderful town of Maine, New York. But anyway, she's going to share that recipe. I've had two. They're delicious. And I look forward to seeing your pictures of your kolachkis if you'll send them in to us at our website or Facebook. There's a happy dog back there who likes kolachkis too. So anyway, Sue will show you how to make these, and they are fabulous. So enjoy, send in pictures, and keep on cooking. Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name's Sue Gottlieb, and I'm going to show you how to make a traditional family recipe, kolachkis. And you take a whole box, a pound of butter and 1 brick of cream cheese. I usually put it in a bowl and set it on the stove and let it soften slowly, but you could leave it out overnight, whatever works for you. Then 4 cups of flour. So I take my time putting the flour in, like 1 scoop, 1 cup at a time, just so that it is easier to work with. So I stir it up. It's kind of a pretty dough. It's very soft, and so I mix that up. Add a little more flour. Keep going till you have 4 cups. Just really work it in good so that it does, there's no flour to see. Takes some time, but all good things are worth the wait. So that's how it looks. Put another cup in. Keep mixing till again you have no flour left. One more cup. And stir that in till it's all nicely blended, no flour left over. Makes a nice little ball. It's a little sticky, so you take some of your powdered sugar and put it on your hands, and then helps you roll it into a ball easier. Then once you've done that, it usually makes 3 good-sized balls, and I put them into separate Ziploc bags and put them in the fridge, let them cool overnight, and so that way they're easier to roll out. So nice little ball, and I'm going to show you. I have a ball in the fridge. So this one is nice and cold. Lay down some powdered sugar. Oh, you know what I'm going to do first, which is something that our last cooking show, Ann Weir mentioned that we should try using the wax paper and saran wrap to not have such a chore with it sticking to the bottom. So here we are. We put the wax paper down and I'm putting the powdered sugar on it. Little powdered sugar on the ball. Just like when you're making a pie and you use flour, this is powdered sugar. And now I'm going to put the saran wrap over the top. I've never done this before, but putting the wax paper and saran wrap, but I tried it after Joanne said something and it really worked. So makes it much easier to roll out. And this way you can pick up your saran wrap, work with your dough a little bit more, put it back on, and just keep working it until you have a nice rolled out dough. I would say make sure it's pretty thin. Not see-through, but you don't want your kolachkis to be too heavy. And just keep moving the saran wrap around till you try to shape it into a square or a rectangle to get the most cookies you can out of it. It's not a simple recipe because not so much the ingredients are very simple, but it's the rolling it out, cutting them, putting the mix in, and making sure that the filling isn't going to spill out all over the place in the oven. Okay. I'm going to peel that saran wrap off. And now I'm going to show you how to make the filling. You can use lots of different fillings. There's apricot and date. I like to make the walnut. And so I have my walnuts. I filled this to the top with walnuts. And then I broke them up, chopped them up as fine as I could. And it ends up being about a half a container. So we dump that in. I dump them into the bowl, a small mixing bowl. Maybe half a cup of powdered sugar to start. You kind of have to work with this, adjust it as you go along. Then you take milk, you cook it in the microwave for maybe like 2 minutes just to get the, it says sour milk in the recipe. So I just cook it a little extra too long and then it's just right. So go put it in cautiously because you can always add more, but you can't take it out. And mix it all together. And then we have vanilla. Maybe, it sounds like a lot, but maybe 2 tablespoons of vanilla. And you stir it up nice. And if you think it's too liquidy, you can add more powdered sugar. And that's what we'll do, just a little bit. It's just really a couple tablespoons more. So the mix is ready. And we're going to get a knife. Going to cut the edges off so everything has a straight edge off the dough. I just save these little scraps to the side because I can add it to the next ball and not waste it. Okay, then I take my knife, try to judge the size of the square to make my lines. And, oops. And then I cut the other way just to get a nice size for rolling up. Okay, now I take my filling, just a little bit on the end of my fork. Don't put too much because it'll come right back out when you bake it. And then put it on the filling on one end of it. Okay, we're going to put a little bit on the end of the fork just to not overdo, because what you put on here might come out if you put too much. So just a little dab, and then use your knife to slide underneath it. Get it over, and then you just roll it like a little log. Kind of make sure you got a little seal underneath of it. It is a fussy little cookie. It's like, you know, one at a time, roll it up. Some people do find shortcuts. They roll it out into a snake and then fill it, the whole thing, and cut them. But you know what? That's the way my mom taught me, and I want it to be traditional, so this is the way I keep it. And so I'm placing them on the cookie sheet, and then we're going to put them in the oven at 350 for 8 to 10 minutes. And when they come out, don't take them off the cookie sheet right away because they are very flaky and take a few minutes to set. So we'll put one more dab on this. Take your knife, slide it under, and just roll it like a log. we go. So we'll put that in the oven. And when it comes out, this is what they look like. They're pretty flaky. Here's some of the flakes that come from it. And, you know, they're a little bit delicate at first. After they cool all the way, then you roll it in powdered sugar completely. What I do is put them in the freezer, and they are really good coming right out of the freezer. And they keep really well, a couple weeks, and enjoy. Merry Christmas. This is my recipe from my mom. It's in her handwriting. She passed away this past year. And not that it wasn't special all the other years, because she'd call me. She lived in North Carolina. She would call me and make sure I was making them, send her a box of them. And so here's her old recipe in her handwriting. I told my husband we better laminate it because I don't know how many more years it will survive. And so she's been doing it for years and years, and everyone loves them, and you will too. Enjoy.
Hi, well, I hope you enjoyed our second segment of Cooking Up the Creek. And please stay tuned for our next in the series that we'll be offering on techniques, artistic techniques from the past. Enjoy, take care, and we'll see you next month.